Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night.
Morning, Dottie.
Hey, Leanna. Oh, great. Get me fit, girl.
Yep.
Good on ya.
Thanks, Dottie.
How you been?
Yeah, good. It's been a good week.
Awesome.
Implementing all my learnings. It's been good. So I got my questions ready.
Good on you. Oh, well, it was really interesting not having to prepare anything because it was like, oh, that's right. We're having questions. Okay, prepare myself for questions.
What about you, Dottie? How was your week?
Yeah, my week's been good, been busy, juggling lots of balls at the moment, but that's okay. They'll all land where they're meant to be.
Oh, good. That's good to hear.
Awesome. Yep. Hey, Hans. Lisa, welcome. Gil, welcome. Kimmy, Nicole, Todd, Alexandria, and of course, our beautiful Jenny. All righty. Well, I'm going to, Beth, welcome. Linda. I've been sent a couple of questions which I'll address first, if that's okay, because they're really good questions and I really appreciated Emily's emailing them to me. And guys, I want to say this, if you have questions, if something sparks up through our chats, please send me an email and I am happy to answer. And because it's really important that you get answers. And if I can't answer you, then we'll explore the question together and see where we go. So it's all about, insight and learning and opening ourselves up to a whole new way of doing life, really. So we've got May and Laurie here. Welcome. So we're going to kick off with these questions that Emily sent in. So last week, I talked about the stuffed bunny that was given to me. And I end up having some bad dreams, and I was like, what's going on, God? And then God showed me that it was the bunny that was given to me, and he told me to throw it out. Now, Emily's question is, could I not have cleared the energy or the curse off that bunny? And she asked about, the power that we have. And and I absolutely was great question in the sense that I had to do what God told me to do. This is the key. If we always do what God tells us to do, we minimize issues and problems. So God instructed me to throw that bunny out. So I just did what he told me to do. But in lieu of that, yes, we absolutely have the power to bind, to loose, to break curses. This is what we're about. This is what we're rising up into, knowing who we are in him and who he is in us. This is the whole journey. But it's the key is always follow the directions that the Spirit tells you. Now, I'm not a fluffy toy person, so for me to throw that bunny out was a no-brainer. It was like, yep. When it was given to me, I thought it was cute. Put it on my bed, on top of my bed because it was only little, but that was the extent of it. It wasn't like I was attached to it or, I love fluffy things. So, I would have been disappointed that I had to throw it out. So it was a no-brainer. I didn't question it. God just told me to get rid of it. I'll get rid of it. If he had told me to bind the cursing and render the spirit powerless, I would have done so. But I personally have found dealing with doing people's house clearings, or dealing with some of the more heavier duty negative energy or evil, is it is always better to get rid of the problem rather than host it and hope that you've done the right thing. Does that make sense? Because you don't know what has been enchanted or has been the spells that have been placed on it. You don't know the layers of it. You don't know what it's actually connected to. In this case, the lady was a very high up in the dark side, and I wasn't going to mess with that. And it was also part of my learnings as well, because everything is learnings and growing. So I always find it's better to get rid of the object. Burning things, I think, is more the case, so that it actually does nullify and other people don't pick it up and bring it into their home. These are the things that we need to consider, that we don't pass on our problems, so to speak, by the items that we've collected. And and that's kind of, you bind it, you absolutely, if you can, destroy it, but you deal with the problem. Don't keep passing it on. I hope that answers that question for Emily. But we fully have the power and authority. And the more you do this, the more we grow in our authority, because your confidence grows in what you're doing. You're getting insight, you're learning. Now, the other part of her question was, or number 2 question was, she asked me about sound therapy, tuning forks and or tapping, and emotional freedom and techniques. So this is my point of view, guys. Everyone is at different levels, and often it can be part of your growth journey. I personally have never needed to do sound therapies or tapping or tuning forks or that sort of thing. That's just me, but I understand that, and God understands that some people need to go on this journey of transition. Now, I'm starting to get feedback from a lot of people that have been in New Age, they're into the crystals and all that sort of thing, but they're coming out of needing the crystals. They're coming out of, it's not doing what it used to do for me. And I go, yay, because what is happening is they are spiritually growing and they're ascending to a higher level of connection with the one true God in the spirit realm. Okay, so don't minimize your journey. Don't go, Dot said don't do that, so don't do that. I don't advocate it. I honestly feel that we have full access, unlimited access, and we can, connect with God, and he is the top guy. Remember, I'm the person that likes the top guy. I don't like the middlemen. Well, I find a lot of New Age modalities and things like that are the middlemen. It's the middle ground. I always want to take the higher ground. And you also have to be careful with who's behind it. As in, more and more the Freemasons are the ones that actually released New Age or constructed New Age because it became more palatable. That's what the 70s was. That was what, the Woodstock and all that sort of thing. Guys, that was fully orchestrated. So, and it was all about free love and, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, that was fully orchestrated to manipulate a whole generation. So the key for me here, and if I can please encourage you, is always look to the hand or the heart behind anything that has been handed to you or presented to you. This will help you discern what is truth and what is not, what is God and what isn't. Because Lucifer is a light. He is a false light. And he can present himself in a very beautiful way that then can basically draw people into his agenda rather than staying in the one true light or connected with the one true God. And it's the intent. Now, part of it is the emotional freedom techniques that are coming through. And again, if you're using them to draw from God to help people, I don't personally have an issue with that, because I get that. It's more about getting to the root issues. And I find a lot of the New Age things don't deal with root issues. They don't deal with the emotional trauma or where the issue came in, the event that where it came in. Okay. Doesn't mean that they can't get release in it, but I find it kind of does show its face down the track again, because we're not dealing with the root issue. So again, I just want to clarify, everyone, you've got to walk in your power. You've got to find your path and your journey with God. But the ultimate aim here is that you are connected totally with the one true God. You're moving in the one true spirit, not the counterfeits, not man's ego or agenda, not formulas, not deceitful packages that there's a lot of things being sold in. It is that one true connection. All right, so there are those two questions. Jenny, is there any questions in the chat, or you want people to just ask themselves?
Ask themselves. That way
Okay.
it comes from them.
It has to be a question, guys. Okay, thank you. Yes, Lisa. Oh, come on, hands. You can't see the screen. So funny.
No, we couldn't exactly see the screen, yeah, but we saw your hair, so that's good. So thank you for explaining. What is with newspapers, Dottie? Because we think it's a lot of propaganda put in your mailbox, and every week it is a load of garbage, right? So actually, I always ask Hans to put this outside and just be anointing it or rebuke everything with evil in it, right? And then we anoint it, and then we take it in and see if there is something special. But most of the time it's not. So then we put this in the fire anyway. But is this because you get a lot of mail that is really having a lot of negative energy,
Yes.
right? So is this
Yes.
what the right way to go, or?
Well, look, guys, I will sometimes sit and read the paper because I'm looking to see what they're up to so that I can counteract it in the spirit. We need to be, informed. We need to use wisdom. And sometimes I laugh because I go, oh, what, they're going to try this one again. Do you know what I mean? And I just basically go, well, not on my watch. Because people are waking up to it. So it is good to be informed. I don't spend every day in the paper. Because of what it is propaganda. We know all the media, all the news, it's all propaganda. They do it because they're trying, number one, they always have to inform you what they're doing. Please be aware of this. Okay, that is part of a spiritual law. They have to tell you what they're doing. So when they're exposing their plan, this is where we can counteract it. We can just go, no, that's not happening. Or, we just go in the spirit and go, God, just let people see the truth in this. I partner with you to release truth onto the earth. So, you just get led by your spirit. Sometimes I read things and I cry. I just go, oh my gosh, like far out. They're really coming after our kids, But at the end of the day, we come from a position that we have already won. You know, the enemy is already defeated. So that way it never draws you back under it, because then that lowers your heart, it lowers your frequency, it lowers your mindset. And these are the things we always need to stay up and over, so that we're in that governmental position of being above all things. So it's good to be informed. Absolutely. It's good to know what they're doing. Sometimes I'm led to watch movies because it is telling me what is going on. And I listen for the words. Sometimes I have the script up because I want to see what they're saying, because often you can't understand what they're completely saying. And then I'll see what they're trying to cast out over us. So then we can counteract that. Right? So it's all about, and it's not like I have to sit here and go, right, what are they going to do next? Now I've got to counteract that. It's just doing life, but flowing with that awareness. Does that help, Lisa?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have another question,
Pleasure.
but perhaps also
Let's first see if others have questions.
yeah, could also be right. We do this.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Anyone else? Leanna?
Sorry, Dottie, just had to unmute myself. My question, you talked earlier about once you've identified the root cause of the issue,
Yeah.
that we're shining a light on it. What I'm finding, and it was in my own personal experience as well, once identifying the root issue, it can be an uncomfortable journey. And I've done the work, I've come out the other end, and I'm now trying to support other people in my workplace. And the other day, someone said to me, "Oh, Leanna, I can't do that. I'm scared of this," because I work in childcare. "I'm scared that the parent will retaliate." And I'm thinking, how do I navigate that? What questions do I ask to help this individual understand what the root cause of that fear, where it's coming from? And then once we've identified that, is it as simple as shining the light on it and then it should dissipate? Or, yeah, that part I'm a little bit unsure of.
Okay. So there's a couple of ways to deal with this. Number one, conversations is always really good. So ask questions, Leanna, in the sense of, well, what are you afraid of? Like, what actually is it that you are afraid of? And they're, oh, well, they might turn on me, which is, when you're dealing with parents, look, I get that. It's like, you don't poke the bear sometimes, but it's all about the questions that you ask and how you ask them. Now, hypothetically, the girl that you were having this conversation with, so she's obviously, there's something with the child that is
there's a child protection issue.
Okay, child protection issue. Wow. Well, you've got a whole gamut of things there, because there's a sense of responsibility also in your workplace with that child that's put in place, health and safety. So there's a whole gamut of things that are positioned in that you need to address. And the thing is, if there's been a conversation and it hasn't been addressed and authorities find that out, then that comes back on the childcare centre as well, because they fear. Well, I'm fear of being punished. Well, have you been punished unjustly as a child? Because this is where often it can come from. There's something deeper that is causing people to, no, I'm not doing that, or, yep, the fear comes in. And while you're having that conversation, release peace over her, because the thing that disperses fear is when people start to feel safe.
Okay.
right? So you're always creating a place where it's safe, where their secrets are safe, where they feel that they're not going to be betrayed. Like people tell me, you know, things that I will never ever utter in this lifetime or the next, because it's not my job. It's got nothing to do with me. So it's always basically, you know, creating that space, but being detached in the sense of not getting emotionally caught up in what's happening for them as well, because otherwise you can't be objective. So actually, that's a really good question. And I'm going to share something that God showed me a couple of weeks. And he says, this is what he said to me. He said, by decree of God, we are already set free. If we stay in anger, we will miss the transition. If we stay in injustice, we will miss the process of where we need to be and where we are going. So, and the reason that he spoke that to me was I was holding up a certain group that are really fear-mongering, and we can't come from fear. Every situation you face, do not come from fear, because you will not make wise decisions. That's why it's always important to step back, take stock of the situation. Whether it's in a room, take stock of the room, and evaluate and get wisdom and revelation on how you need to deal with things. But if it's a personal thing for that person, there is a root issue that needs to be healed. Okay, and you can't always come at it straight away. Sometimes you let them have the conversation, and you just go, well, look, I'm here for you, and leave it at that. Then go home and then get into prayer, get into the spirit, hold that person up, you know, help them, you know, release the God to come in and help them have breakthrough, you know, all that sort of thing, because there's a preparation of the heart to be ready to let go of things that they need to let go of, which is what we are in globally. And each and every one of us. This is why you don't go on witch hunts, or, you know, for those that have come out of Pentecostal churches, they're looking for demons under every chair. That's not how God works. God is always working with you, and he's always, okay, there's this little thing here, let's move that. And that is the journey, guys. If you ever think that you arrive, you are actually in deception, because there's always more. I remember once thinking, yep, I have arrived. Well, did my life get turned upside down? Because I'm like, okay, I'm never thinking that again. Because we are always growing. There's always more to step into in God and learn. And now I just stay in a place where my heart's always open to learn from others, learning from the spirit, listening to conversations, observations. The biggest things that I enjoy doing, I enjoy sitting back and observing. I really enjoy people watching, because I love to see the things I see in the spirit. I go, oh, okay, that one. Oh, yeah, look at that agenda. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. She's got God all over. Isn't she awesome? So, yeah. Does that answer your question, darling?
Yeah, it does. Thank you, Dottie. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. All right. Maybe if people can put a hand up if they have a question, that would be great. Anyone else? Jenny's got a hand up.
I'll let Lori go first. Go ahead, Lori.
Okay. Lori, come on, girl. Hello.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
I can, sweetie.
All right, love. My question's kind of an odd one, because I've been going down a rabbit hole of learning about biofield practice and ways to kind of, with all the control and the sensors and all of these things that are coming at us, and we're being presented with all this information, like you said, that is in the literature. It's in the IEEE, and what they're doing with healthcare, and all of this kind of thing. So I've been going down this rabbit hole and learning a lot. But one of the things that the woman I'm following is really for is biofield practice. And she kind of really talks about it as being an individual thing, and to connect it with God. And I feel like something you said earlier about looking at the heart of what is behind it, that this person is somebody who knows that they've kind of taken part of our own spiritual anatomy away from us, and they're using it in their own way. When I say they, I mean all these agendas that even Cal is after. So I've gone down this rabbit hole, and I'd like your thoughts on biofield practice as our aura, our own energy, our uniqueness, and I would say that's God-given. And what you think of just doing this on an individual basis, because I've been doing it for a little while on my own, completely connecting, with prayer. And I'm starting to feel an actual energy, a magnetism. I don't know if that has to do with frequency and just the amazing beings we are. But let me know what you think.
Okay, so the question is what I think about biofields
Yes.
and the work that you're doing. Okay, so we are energy beings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we absolutely. And I often, depending on the audience, I'll talk about energy as well as the spirit, because God is energy. He's frequency. He's a vibration, the same as we are too. Like, when he spoke, it created things. So there's this, we have this incredible ability that a lot of us don't even are aware of, that we create our worlds by our words. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, the energy, the frequency, the heart. These are the things that we're picking up, the intention behind everything. So I look at it this is how I look at it. Anything that is presented to us, I actually stay quite open to it, and I look at what's behind it. Is this lady wanting people to follow her in the sense of, okay, it's going to put money in her pocket, and you've got to look at that, guys. You've got to look at the intent. Why is this person, presenting things, or why is she not?
Mm-hmm.
The fact is there's an exchange. So if you're loving what she's bringing and there's a financial exchange, then that's fine. As long as she's bringing you into your own power, into your own, knowing who you are. This is where we've got to come out of following people to tell us what to do, tell us how to behave. This is what we're breaking out from underneath, because that's tyranny. And that is also, we are idolizing someone else above the one true creator. So anything that becomes higher than God, then you're in idolatry. That's what we need to, and I find a lot of, even going back to the modalities, the different modalities at New Ages, it's subservient into who God really is and who we are in right relationship with him, that one true connection. Okay, so it's, and I'm going to say this, guys, is that a lot of people are talking about Jesus. Now, Jesus is incredibly powerful and he's incredibly important, But what I'm starting to see is that people, and let me just say this, Jesus was a bridge or a door into higher realms. A lot of people are parked on the bridge and they're constantly talking about Jesus, but they haven't stepped over into what he was actually did for us. So this is where there's another transition about to occur on the earth, because we're going to go into the fullness of what we're meant to be doing. And there are different things that teach us. All of us have a life story where we have been through things, we've been on journeys, we've met certain people that have helped navigate our life to be who we are today. And if we don't look at that as, wow, you know, like, I am who I am today because of some of the things that I went through, because of certain people that I connected to, and they taught me things along the way, or I learnt lessons that I needed to learn from them along the way, has then made me who I am today. So this is how we embrace the journey of what we're in. So, you know, we are energy, we are frequency. The highest power is love. Well, love is an energy, it is a frequency, but it's God. So when we tap in to that highest or connect in with God directly, we are in that limitless aspect. We are in the realms where we get revelation, we get wisdom, we get understanding, we get healing, we get breakthrough, we get growth, because that is who he is. Does that help, Laurie? Did that?
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And I'm very
so,
happy because, like you said, learning from along the path, you know, I've been led to Cal, I've been led to you now, I've been led to this particular woman, never really wanted to even commodify her channel, her videos or anything. So it's definitely a free giving, you know, which is lovely.
absolutely. And so there's things that, you know, the spirit will show you through those learnings. And then you'll come to a season where you go, I'm actually not getting anything out of this anymore. So then God will lead you to the next thing. So it's just, you know, being flowing with the spirit and not getting stuck. Lots of people get, you know, stuck. And I'm picking on crystals because that's what lots of people like. There was a big push in crystals. Now it's even more so. It's like, if I hang on to this crystal, then I will feel love. I go, how can that crystal make you feel loved? Like, it doesn't register to me, but it is a connection point for them. The same as in religion, it was the cross, hanging onto the cross. You know, this is when I'm connecting. But we're meant to be above all that. We can supersede all of that. It's like people go, oh, I go to church. I go, okay. But they go to church on Sunday, and this is what's been taught. You know, you go to church on Sunday and connect, and the rest of the week you're on your own. That's not how God is. God is with you 24/7, 7 days a week, from the minute you were conceived to the minute you go into eternity and then beyond. There's no break. There's no disconnect or discord when you are connected with God.
Yeah, thank you, Dottie.
Thank you. No worries. Alexandra. Hello, girl. You got a question? You're on mute. Unmute, darling.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, darling.
Okay. Thank you. So I have a question about the Conscious Health Club.
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't say much on their website who it's run by. Do you know these the people?
Yeah,
that run it?
yes, I am. I'm very close with these people, and we started the Conscious Health Club so that we could give people insight spiritually. Like I put out an email every second week talking about physical illnesses that are connected to spiritual things and vice versa. Plus, their products are the best on the market.
Yes. All right. Yes. Thank you. Because I have some sort of things that are happening in the body that I don't want to go to conventional
you don't want-
doctors and get blood tests.
No, absolutely not. And see, you can actually just give them a ring and have a chat to them, and they'll help you guide through that too. Their expertise in their field.
Okay. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jenny.
Hey, okay. So when you go into an environment, say a club or a community, and they have kind of a bitter culture, fighting culture, I'm wondering, I know prayer works, obviously, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are on, is there a quicker way to change the culture than by living by example and then just praying simply? But, you know, like, have you had experience in changing the culture of a community in the way that you pray? And do you have any thoughts or tips?
Yep, absolutely. Now, one of the things that we need to start doing is doing things collectively. So remember that you're never on your own. We always have a legion of angels at our disposal, so we can release them. But agreement, where two or more agree, remember where the channel, so to speak, of releasing God's will and purpose onto the earth. And when we speak, things change. That's why we've got to stop being afraid to speak. This is part of what we've been shut down to do. And it doesn't necessarily mean being confronting someone. It's what you do behind closed doors that makes the biggest difference. And so if you're seeing certain things in a culture, like I'm talking about in some of the freedom movements, it's up to the people that are spearheading these movements to actually maintain the cleansing of the culture. In other words, that's why they've been put in position to govern what's going on. So if strife or issues start to arise, then there's things that haven't been addressed, or they haven't kept a covering over it. And this is how you shift cultures. We used to have a group of us that used to go over different countries. That was so much fun. And I'm seeing some of the results of that even today over different nations. And there's a lot of things that we saw in the spirit that are physically happening today. So to me, I'm like, we're on track. We're exactly where we're meant to be going. God's doing what he's wanting to have happen. The enemy thinks he does, but it's not. He's out. He's down and out. So, this is where we've got to stay above. So it's all about governance, and then agreeing with someone, and then also praying according to the heart of God, not what we think. It is always got to be the heart of God, because he knows all the intricacies. We're only seeing one aspect. That's why when you get a group of people that really know how to do ascensions and change things, you're getting different perspectives from it. And then it's fun. It's fun going on assignment with a group of people. and just moving things in the heaven, and then sharing what each person's seen, and seeing how all of a sudden I used to run a 24/7 prayer, in the sense of, well, no, it wasn't 24/7, but we would meet physically from 9 till 5, and everyone in a particular building, and then everyone could come in half an hour increments or an hour, and we'd be praying and just moving in the spirit, and then we'd take a 5-minute break, and then those that needed to leave could leave, and then those that were ready to come in would come in. And so we had this cycle of people coming in all day. And because I was facilitating it, I was there all day, and I was writing all the different things that different people were seeing or praying or bringing to the meeting. And then at the end of the day, when you go through it all, there was such a confirmation. And there were people in the afternoon that were sharing what other people in the morning had seen. They had no idea. This is what I love about God and moving in the spirit, because there's always this confirmation that keeps flowing that, yes, we're on the right track, because there's no way that anyone would know what each other's presenting. And that really grows your faith, and it grows your spirituality, but also it grows your confidence for those that are not sure in how that they're hearing from God. So it really was this full gamut of, growth and insight, and people growing and tapping into, hearing God and being confident. So it was a really explosive time in the spirit. It was really beautiful to watch. And I just get to facilitate that. I just get to hold that space, create a space where it's safe, and people are coming to learn and do that. And I miss that. I miss that. I miss that a lot, because we used to do it all the time, and that hasn't happened in the last couple of years. And I'm craving for that again, because I just love that, what you get out of that, because, you give, but you get given so much more. Did that help, Jenny?
Yes, it helped a lot. I think I want to add to it just a little bit, and that is, so you're dealing with people in the world, though, because I actually want that 24/7 thing that you're doing, that you're interested in. But it's like when you're in the world, because we all here are very, we're considerate and this and that. But then you're in these groups in the world that they act out, right, and manifest and do crazy stuff, and accusations, and you know what I mean. So, just binding things right then and that kind of thing. It's like,
Well,
how effective can you get, and how, you know what I mean? Just tools, and I don't know. I think I'm being more
No.
not practical but tactical, like, I guess.
Okay, so you combine those entities, because that's what they are, but you also pour grace on it, because they're on a learning curve. This is sometimes we're like, I want this and I want it now, but this is where we detach and we look and we go, but this is where they're at. And so we're releasing God into their life so that they can grow. I've had people that, I spoke to 40 years ago, and then they 40 years later, they're going, wow, Dot, you said this to me, and it finally clicked. I finally understood what you were trying to say to me. Okay. We're all on a different level in the sense of our learnings, where our heart is opened. The more open your heart is, the quicker you're going to grow, because we're surrendering our will and our thoughts and our programming to then go and be submissive to what God wants to do. And so we've you combine the entities, absolutely, and we can ask God to come into their life for them to see truth. And it's interesting how many people are now coming to the forefront that have been, you know, born and bred into the occult, programmed to the max. I mean, I don't know if there'd be anyone on here that would understand what they have been through, what has happened to them. And they are coming out of that and choosing light, choosing, you know, the fullness of God, and stepping away from what has been programmed in them by the occult, by Lucifer. And they are full on tortured, guys. They are full on MK altered. They have so much that have happened to them. Like, I sit back and I go, I have nothing to complain about in my life. So, you know, God is moving in a very powerful way. And these are the things we need to be releasing. God, let truth be released onto the earth. Let your love and your light break the chains, break the deception, the shackles that people are living under, so that they can come out of it and step into the fullness of who you are and who they were designed to be. So sometimes we want things to happen quicker, but we've got to trust that the journey, God has got it. And then we just partner with him. If we get frustrated, we'll get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I find, especially when it's a family situation, you're like, you know, you just want the best for your family. You want the best for your kids or your sister or your brother, and they're just not seeing it. And you can get frustrated, and your prayers are prayed out of frustration rather than out of revelation. Now, I find the prayers that I pray, or the decrees and declarations, and I let them go, they're the ones that are answered the quickest, because I get out of the way and I let God do God.
I think you just hit what I needed to hear. It's that tactical part of it where you pray that their hearts open, and of course loose grace on them, and then that practical part about not praying in frustration, because these groups, when you're in them, that mob mentality goes on to you, you know, so you've got to block it, and that's hard. It's tough to do, even if you're, you know, as spiritual as you can be. It's hard.
The key here for you, Jenny, is to you can be emotional, but then let the emotion go. Okay. Because and I understand this, because you hold the emotion. It's like, we really want them to get this. Okay. That's not healthy for you. And it's doesn't release God to do what he needs to do. So, and I'm talking to everyone here, because we all do it. Our emotions get caught up in it, and you know, we're really exerting what we want to see happen.
Right.
And we've got to let God do what he wants to do. So I have learnt the hard way, in all honesty, is that I then release. I've learnt to be detached, not in the sense that I'm insensitive or I don't care, because I do care a lot, but I've learnt to go, okay, I'm just going to release that. Okay.
And you know what's funny? You say that, and it's like, that's the thing that I was afraid of, that I wouldn't care enough. But I've kind of tapped into that detachment part, and that's right. You're saying it. That's right where the blessing comes, is when you detach. And that's what I didn't want to do, because I thought, well, then how am I going to get jaded? Am I not going to care? And that's it right there. You just nailed it.
Okay, so can I just add to that then quickly?
Oh, of course.
Is that we need to realize that God cares way more than we can possibly care. we are in, you know, we have empathy, we have that caring, understanding aspect, but he has it in infinities. So he cares about that situation way more. So this is where, when we let it go, he can then step in and do a whole lot more. And then we're ready to move on to the next thing that he has for us to partner with him. Otherwise, we stay stuck as well, because we're staying stuck on one assignment when he's going, I let that go now. I want you to move to the next one. So kind of the picture, yeah, so the picture that I'm getting is a little bit like, you know, when you're cleaning the house, you don't just stay in the bathroom cleaning the bathroom. You've got to walk out of there to do the next thing. Like, you don't stay at the sink waiting for dishes to come so that you can keep doing the dishes. You've got to walk away to go to do the next job, because that job's done. So this is where that, you know, just that breaking, okay, I've done that now. Now the next thing. Now I'm going to move to this. Now God's asking me to do that. And that's where we surrender it. Does that help?
Oh, tremendously. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Hans and Lisa, another question. Go.
Yeah. Coming back to something we touched on last week, and that is dementia. And I'm curious about the relation between dementia and possible possession. What we've learned in the past, that dementia would be explained as the spirit no longer being fully in the body. And it also ties to a saying, apparently coming from scripture, to guard the entrance and the exit. So I'm curious how that's tying all together.
So we're talking about dementia, which is where they flip in and out, from last week, flipping in and out of remembering or not remembering, right? So the question you're asking me is,
how does that relate to possible possession? If the spirit has been pushed out by a possessing entity, or if it might be the other way around, is there a causal relation between those two, if at all?
okay, I'm going to say something here that could be quite controversial, because this is coming from some of my learnings in the spirit. But often, number one, dementia can kick in because of the foods that and medication, right? So in the physical, but dementia, as in some of the spiritual experiences that I've been shown, has kicked in because of a deep trauma that has not been dealt with. And then the mind goes into a split state. So that's part of the dealings that I've had with people that have had dementia. And when you can bring healing to that trauma, then it can start to rectify the brain function. And I'm not talking like, I'm talking severe trauma. I'm talking about, you know, certain things that are so ungodly that it causes a fragmentation. But again, this is always individual, and also being led by the spirit to understand the situation. Because a lot of our dementia and Alzheimer's is coming from the foods that have been GMO'd. And that's part of their design. The same as at the moment, we've got lots of people that are suffering from anxiety and depression. It's all food related. And a lot of the key issues there is wheat. Wheat, absolutely don't eat wheat. just saying, because it does, it really messes your body. And rice has a lot of fillers in it. It has lots of plastic fillers. So these are foods that I actually don't eat. I don't eat bread. I don't eat wheat. You know, and it's moving with how your body responds. You know, what your body's telling you. Like even children that don't want to eat broccoli, there's a reason why they don't want to eat broccoli. Their bodies doesn't want it. And we're forcing food down our kids' throats, but their bodies, they're trying to tell you that, no, it doesn't, my body doesn't like that food. But we're like, oh, you got to get the veggies into you. Like I can't eat pumpkin either. Pumpkin just, and I've not long had another hair analysis done just to do a physical check. And they're all the foods that come up that says I shouldn't eat. And I go, well, I haven't been eating them for the last, 20 years. So, and the lady was like, wow, you're really intuitive with your body. I said, yeah, because that's staying in connected in the spirit. God will always guide you. It's not always about other people, doing things for other people. It's doing what's right for you. And speaking to your body, speaking to your cells. If you get brain fog, well, move it. Find out why. Right? Because we've been accepting, oh, well, that's what happens when you get older. And I have for the last 20 years, people go, oh, yeah, this will happen when you get older. And I've gone, no, it's not. I'm not accepting that, because they're curses, because they're repeating what the pharmaceutical companies want you to believe. I'm like, no, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I'm just, be bold in protecting yourself. Don't accept certain things. If people say something negative, go, I'm not, what? Who are you talking to? That's not me. Counteract it. Remember, your silence is an acceptance. Now, and I've said this before, it doesn't mean you have to say it to their face, depending on the circumstances. Sometimes I do, because it's, they're saying it in jest, but I'll counteract it with purpose, even though it may come across as jest. But sometimes you got to walk away, go, just cut all of that off. Remember that nightly routine. Cut off the things from the day. Don't accept what's been handed to you if it is not from God. Because it's a bit like, it's a bit like, every day something tries to come on you. And next minute, 2 months down the track, you're like, oh, I feel so heavy. I feel so bound, oh, life's just so tough. It's because you've not cleared the things that have been trying to come on top of you. They're packing up. All right. Is that good, Hans?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. Alexandria, another question, my love. Alex.
Hi. Yes.
Hey.
Thank you. Just let me know if this is for an email. Maybe I should send you an email. Just a question about dreams and like having demons come up and try to test you, and sort of like binding them in your dreams and those kind of things. If you have any advice for that.
Absolutely. It's great if you're binding demons in your dreams, because you're growing in your spiritual authority. And then you need to, when you're awake, ask God, why are they coming at you? What's going on? What's there, and so you can clear it. Is there something in your house? Have you recently connected with someone that is a witch or a warlock? Have they gifted you something? Are they and that seems to be really raising its head at the moment too. I've had to deal with some stuff in my sleep that is very doesn't normally come into my dreams or my nightlife, and I've just gone, oh, okay, this black feather's just coming beside my head, and I woke up. I went, oh, that's black magic. right? So I had to bind that and shut it down. There are some things that took me a couple of months because I'm going, I can feel it, but I couldn't. I was like, God, where is that coming from? What is that? And just keep asking him, because I was aware of something that was not right in my, sphere. And it wasn't touching me, but it was sitting there. And I'm like, no, I'm not having that. And then I finally, it took a couple of weeks, but I finally nailed what it was and who it was coming through. And it was coming through, I had a feeling it was that person, but then I was like, no, surely not. But it was. So
Okay.
it was like, it took me a couple of, a little bit of time to accept the answer, because God had given me the answer, but I dismissed it. In my humanness, I just went, no, they wouldn't do that to me. Well, they did. So, this is some of the things you need to be asking. Have you been somewhere and something is trying to attach itself to you? Okay.
I think I have done something without asking God first.
Okay.
Went ahead and
Yeah.
did something, and then I think next night,
Well,
like
there
a
you
lot
go.
of
Yeah.
things were
So
happening, coming toward me.
okay, so this is where again, you can just say, God, I'm sorry, I did something I shouldn't have done, and clear it away. Gone, instant. Doesn't have to hang around. And you're really on an amazing journey, Alexandria, of growth. I can feel that, and some of the conversations we've had since we've connected. Some of the things you've shared with me, you're on an incredible journey of growth. So cheers to you, girl. Good on you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
And also the quick, the hair test you mentioned, is that on the Conscious Health Club as well?
Yeah,
said you had-
it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. Is there anyone else? I know I've got Hans and Lisa. Is there anyone else that's got a question? Everyone else? Todd, you got any questions?
Yeah, I
No?
do, Dot. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm just in the middle of something. Sorry about that. But yeah, God needs time, right? Like you're always talking about he needs time and he knows when the right time comes.
Yeah.
How do when someone's searching for God, how would that person know when the right time is? Like, or is he just gonna have to wait? And another question is the harder that they search, is it gonna come quicker? Is that possible?
Absolutely. The hungrier you are for the things of the spirit, the more you will be led into connection with it. And like, remember how patient I was when I was a young girl? I want patience and I want it now. It's like, I want the things of the spirit and I want them now. Well, our little brains, in some aspects can't handle all of it. That's why it's this incredible journey. But you can be learning every day. You can be accessing new things every day. You can be accessing new things every night as well. And Todd, the most simplest way to have this incredible encounter with God, if you're looking for him, all you need to do is ask him into your life. It is, and when people talk about they want God, I go, well, have you asked him into your life? Have you given him permission? Because he will not just jump in your life. He creates scenarios for you to ask him. He's always knocking on the door of your heart. He's always wanting to, be part of your life because he created you. But we all have to ask him to come into our life. There's that exchange or surrender. And, it can happen different for everybody. It's unique for everybody. Some people just have an explosive, connection. Others, because of their personality types and the way that they are, that God does it slower. It just depends on how he created you. I personally like being blown out of the water, so I just say, bring it. But other people are like, no, I need to go slow and I need to go steady and I just want to, process all of this. It just depends on who you are. But the key element for all of us is that you have to ask. Scripture, it says you don't have because you don't ask.
Yeah, I understand that now.
Yeah.
And the reason I ask this is because the knowledge that I'm getting is just amazing, like through you and through Cal, Jenny, and Isaac. It's just amazing information about God, and it's just absolutely fabulous. And I just want to find him, that's all.
God, you already have him. He's already in your heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't be opening to the learnings. So, Todd, do this for me right now. Can you just put your hand on your heart and just thank God that he's always with you. He's already there with you and that he loves you. And that let the fullness of his presence and power just come into your life and fill the hunger in your heart. And now receive it. Receive his love. Because he's already with you. And I just feel to say this, Todd, that you're not going to miss it. Feel that there's an underlying fear that you're going to miss out or you're going to miss it. You're not going to miss it. God's got you. He's absolutely got you, Todd. He loves you. His love, I just release his love over you, that you feel so accepted and so wanted and so needed in this time that we are living. Todd, if you could stay on at the end, if you want to continue talking, that would be awesome. So thank you for being with us every week. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you and everybody else. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. So you can stay on at the end if you want to talk a bit more, Dal.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Hans?
Actually, it's Lisa, but only if it is a short one for you, because if it is too difficult, then just do it another time. For me, it's very difficult to open up to someone and immediately also be close enough to not get what is it called, like overwhelmed. Because what I have is that I take over the pain from somebody, or I feel exactly what they like my brother 1,000 kilometers away, right? I know that if he injures himself, boom, then I have the same issue on, but without doing something. So, oh man, what is this? So then if I gave him a call, then he said, well, I broke my leg or whatever. You know what I mean? So actually, if somebody is sitting next to us and is sharing his stuff with us, well, we have a lot of conversations and prayers all together, then immediately all this stuff pops on me. And then it is hard to open up your heart and then immediately also block it also. So at the same time, you have to cover yourself with something. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I understand what you're talking about. So for me, normally I'm in a prayer session, so to speak, with them. So when I'm feeling all those things, then I know that's what I need to release God into or minister to. So because then I'll describe what I'm feeling so that they realize that I understand, and God's letting me feel that because he wants them to know that he understands. But then you've got to move it. So when I do sessions with people, I know when it's left, when it's has been healed, or when it's has left, because the symptom now has moved off me. Okay, so if you're sitting with people and you're feeling that, what are you doing with that, Lisa?
Yeah, that's exactly the question, because yesterday there was
Well,
somebody here.
Well, the question is God's showing you what is their problem, and then you need to go, are you feeling this and this right now?
Yep.
And they'll go, yeah. I go, well, God wants to heal that.
Yeah, I told him yesterday, right? We
Yeah.
did. Yeah, how he can pray, but the actual stuff is that if he was leaving, after that, I became, my fingers the same feeling or lack without feeling as he had, right? So he didn't feel in his hand. Yeah, so this is what I experience now. So actually, I want to get rid of that feeling because only 2 fingers do this. And I know it's from this guy. I really know because I didn't have this
Okay,
before.
Lisa, I understand. What you need to do is you need to cut soul ties.
Got soul ties?
Cut soul ties. Because
Okay.
what happens is you get emotionally invested. So
Yeah.
after every session of what you're doing, you cut soul ties and you release it all back to God, because otherwise everything's going to pile up on you because you're picking up on everyone else's situations, and then it becomes, and then it sits in your body. You've got to release that. You've got to break the frequency, the energy from it. And so that you are then free from it. Otherwise, it's you're not going. The next situation, you're going to, oh, is that person, or is that this person, or is that me? So it will bring confusion. The key is, anyone that you deal with, guys, whether it's having a cup of coffee in a conversation, whether it's bringing healing into their life, whether you're standing in front of thousands, you need to cut off from that situation so that your plate is empty again.
Oh, this is it.
And then you are free from those connections.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's all of us needs to do that. Otherwise, we keep carrying every situation we face into the next day. Remember, every day is a new day. His grace and mercy is new every day. Well, if you're still carrying yesterday with you, then you can't step into the new grace and mercy.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, help me a lot.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
All right. One more question, guys. Nicotine patches. Yep. There's a number of things for dimension, but depending on the root issue, Todd, that's the most important thing, is that I'm a person that goes for what's the root issue. It's like I go for the top person and what's the root issue, because when you deal with the very root issue, then there's lots of other things that fall away because you've dealt with the root issue. Okay, it's the same when you're feeling stuff, Lisa. If you may be feeling what is happening, but you've got to ask God for the root issue. Does that person have unforgiveness? Is he walking in resentment? Is he in anger? Has there been an accident that's traumatized something that needs healing in a part of his body? These are all the questions to ask. Yeah. And that's with us. If something's happening to you physically, then you got to ask why. Where is this someone else's? Is this mine? God, what are you trying to show me? Is there something in my heart? I always go to myself first. I always go, God, is there something that I've missed? Is there something I need to deal with? And he'll go, no, this belongs to such and such. Oh, okay, well, let's just do that then. We'll just partner with God and release what that person needs. and then you let it go. I don't follow up. I don't ring people up going, oh, did that prayer work? Like, are you okay now? I always wait for them to come back to me, because I don't question what I do. I don't doubt what I do with God. Okay? Because what happens when you do go into that energy, it becomes your responsibility, because you're doing it in the flesh. If you do it in the flesh, you have to maintain it in the flesh. I like to do things in the spirit, because then it's not my responsibility, it's God's. So this is where we stay free. And, you know, his burden is light, his yoke is easy. But a lot of people take on the burdens of this world, and then they can't move and things can't happen for them, because it's like they're trapped. So that's why it's important. Always cut off from every day. Start the day, and then night. There's stuff, remember I've talked about this, things that happen at nighttime that you've got to cut off from. You process it, you do with it what God tells you to do, and then you start a new day. All righty. Okay, I think we're good there, guys. Great questions. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm happy. Maybe we should do this every couple of weeks, Jenny.
I love this idea.
Yeah, I love this idea too. And it's great, because the most important thing for us, for Jenny and I, is that you guys are growing in who you are and who God has called you to be, your power, your influence, your connection with him. You know, it's not about us. We're just here to help you guys. So it's up to you to take hold of that. It's your responsibility. It's like we can take the horse to the water, but we can't make it drink.